How are you, gents? It's SBG here on this Wednesday morning. What I want to talk about this morning is terrorism. And as you know, recently on March 15, there was the terror attack, the gunman in Christchurch, and 50 people were killed. And we have had the Easter Sunday bombings in Sri Lanka, which killed about 250 people. Very tragic events that have received a lot of attention in the mainstream media. And yes, these two attacks were very tragic. They were an outrage. But I'd like to talk about another form of terrorism which is rarely discussed in the media, and that is the way that men are traumatized, terrorized, and treated in a terrible fashion by the family court / divorce court. And as we know, many men have had their lives ruined, destroyed through this process. Many of these guys have ended up suiciding, killing themselves. And as far as I'm concerned, that is a type of terrorism. That is divorce terror. And as men, we are just supposed to stay silent, just be women worshipping, tax-paying drones. And I think that as men, we should try and take a proactive stance. I think that if more and more men refuse to marry, then those men can't be divorce raped because they are not participating in the gynocentric scam we know as marriage. And in a lot of MGTOW videos, often there is negativity and cynicism. You see it coming through in a lot of the videos. So I'd just like to put forward a bit of positive advice to men, especially the young guys. I've said before, don't marry, don't expose yourself to the system, and try to work on yourself and improve your life for yourself. Just moving on to another topic. I'm veering off topic just a little bit. Recently I was speaking to one of my neighbors, and he's 44, he's an accountant, he works for a medium-sized enterprise, and he's a really smart guy. He has very good morals, he's very honest, and he was telling me that in his company it seems to be the women and also the gay men who are the ones who are getting promotions. And he said to me, the only way I can probably get a promotion in the company is if I am a woman or I am gay. And I said to Simon, well, that's about right. These days, if you are working for a company, if you are not gay or you're not a woman, you're on the back foot. And that's in the private sector. It's even worse in the government sector. I think another MGTOW might have been Hammerhand. He touched on this in one of his videos. And anyway, I said to my neighbor that because he's in a fairly good financial position, he owns his own home with no mortgage, he has an investment property that he's nearly paid off, a one-bedroom apartment. I said to him that he should start his own business or maybe start a consultancy, and then he does not have to rely on his employer, does not have to rely on this company. And I think that is what more and more men are going to have to do in the future if you want to survive in our increasingly feminized and gynocentric society, gynocentric system. Some guys, like I've said in another video, if they are financially secure, they are moving offshore, maybe moving to Asia, or some guys have gone to Eastern Europe. Like I've said, that might work for some guys. Some guys have said that that is not the answer and that we should stay here and try to change the system. Personally, I cannot see that happening anytime in the near future. One thing we can do, like I've said, is to boycott marriage and do not cohabitate do not cohabit with women in long-term relationships. They are some practical things that we can do, but I think in the long term, Western society does not have much of a future, and we can become a bit cynical about it, become depressed about it, or I suppose we can just try to live our own lives in the best way we possibly can. Anyway, I just had a bit of spare time. I've just been out to the recycling centre, took a bit of cardboard and steel out there, and just on the way back to my place, I thought I'd quickly make a vid. So, hope you'll leave some feedback as usual, leave a few comments, and hopefully I can talk to you again soon. Cheers as usual, and keep the MGTOW fires burning. Chuck a few more logs on that MGTOW fire, and let's try and spread MGTOW as far and wide as possible. Thanks for listening as usual, and I will talk to you later. Cheers.